All of us have had those moments when anger, like a raging fire, flares up in our minds and burns away any sense of peace. It doesn't just hurt the people around us, it also tears us apart from the inside, causing us to lose control and draining us of joy and tranquility. But have you ever wondered if there's a way to fully tame that anger so it no longer has the power to rule your life? The philosophy of Stoicism holds timeless principles that can help us manage and even eliminate anger. It's not just some abstract school of thought. It's also the key to finding inner peace, showing us how to handle life's challenges with both calmness and wisdom. In this video, I'll share some of the most valuable lessons from Stoicism, lessons that can free you from the grip of anger once and for all. Listen in and discover what Stoicism can do for you, because only by truly understanding how your mind and emotions work can you ever hope to master them. Trust me, once you've learned these principles, anger won't stand a chance at controlling you anymore. And welcome back to Daily Stoic Practice, my friend. This is your compass to navigate the complexities of modern life with ancient wisdom. At the core of Stoicism lies one of its most profound principles, the dichotomy of control. This teaches us to clearly distinguish between what is within our power and what is not. External events, other people's opinions, and unexpected outcomes are beyond our influence. But our thoughts, emotions, decisions, and actions, these are entirely within our control. Imagine this scenario. Laura has been working tirelessly on a big presentation, only to have her boss criticize her harshly in front of colleagues. Her initial reaction is to feel hurt and angry. She wants to snap back or defend herself aggressively. But Laura remembers a piece of Stoic wisdom. Focus on what you can control. She takes a breath, acknowledges her disappointment, and instead of lashing out, asks her boss for specific feedback. By doing so, she shifts her energy from self-defense to self-improvement. Over time, Laura earns respect not just for her quality of work, but for her calm under pressure. By focusing on what you can control, you reclaim your mental and emotional energy. Imagine being criticized unfairly at work. You can't change the other person's perception, but you can control your response, choosing to remain composed and let your work speak for itself, rather than reacting defensively. In moments of chaos, Stoics remind us that peace is found not by controlling the uncontrollable, but by mastering ourselves. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This mindset doesn't mean you should ignore external difficulties. Rather, it calls for a conscious redirection of energy. When facing challenges, ask yourself, what part of this can I influence? By focusing on that, you can act decisively and let go of the rest. Over time, this approach reduces unnecessary stress and frustration. You stop exhausting yourself over things you cannot change and instead cultivate resilience and calm. When you take ownership of your responses, you build a foundation of inner strength that allows you to navigate life's unpredictability with grace and clarity. This practice doesn't just transform your challenges, it transforms you. In Stoic philosophy, self-reflection is an essential tool for achieving peace and mastering emotions, particularly anger. Self-reflection is not simply the act of looking at oneself, but a profound process of exploring the mind, examining thoughts, and evaluating one's actions in every moment. By confronting oneself honestly and without avoidance, we can free ourselves from negative emotions, thereby building a solid foundation for inner peace. Imagine Diane, a project manager who's under constant pressure at work. One morning, after receiving an email criticizing her project timeline, she lashed out at a colleague who simply asked a question in the hallway. Later that evening, feeling guilty, Diane sat quietly and asked herself, "Why was I so angry?" Through honest reflection, she realized her anger stemmed not just from the email, but from her anxiety over a looming deadline and her fear of appearing incompetent. By identifying these root causes, she was able to apologize sincerely and take constructive steps to ease her workload, turning a tense situation into an opportunity for growth. Self-reflection is like looking into a mirror, but instead of observing appearance, we gaze deeply into the soul. When faced with anger, the first thing we need to do is pause and ask ourselves, why am I angry? Is this anger stemming from a true injustice, or is it just a reaction of my ego? These questions help us pull back from the boiling rage, forcing us to confront the real reason. Self-reflection helps us realize that anger doesn't make us stronger. It only clouds our judgment, pulling us further away from peace. Think of a situation in life. Have you ever been angry when someone hurt or disrespected you? The natural reaction is anger, of course, but if at that moment you could stop and ask yourself, how does this really affect me? Can I change this situation? In many cases, upon reflection, we realize that what made us angry isn't worth letting our emotions be so deeply affected. In the modern world, self-reflection also plays an essential role. With the pace of life speeding up, work and social pressures easily lead us to feelings of exhaustion, stress, and quick anger. But try to spend a few minutes each day asking yourself, how did I behave today? What can I improve to become better tomorrow? This habit not only helps us control our emotions, but also helps develop a strong and peaceful mind. For many successful people, such as Bill Gates or Oprah Winfrey, daily self-reflection and self-assessment have become important habits that help them achieve balance in life. Anger is a natural human reaction, but it can only be defeated when we fully understand it. Self-reflection is the key to uncovering the deep-rooted causes of negative emotions, allowing us to let go and no longer let anger control our lives. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. Always remind yourself of the value of inner peace, and from there, we will never let anger overtake our lives again. So are you ready to take a moment and ask yourself, what made you angry today? And what can you learn from it to become calmer tomorrow? Feel free to share your story and insights in the comments. Stoicism emphasizes not the suppression of emotions, but their mastery, transforming them into allies rather than adversaries. Emotions, when left unchecked, can drive impulsive reactions, cloud judgment, and magnify adversity. Instead, the Stoics teach us to pause, reflect, and act with intention, allowing reason to guide our response. Marcus Aurelius famously compared emotional composure to a rocky promontory against which waves endlessly crash, yet it remains steadfast. The chaos of life, the setbacks, frustrations, and uncertainties are those waves, and we must strive to emulate the rock, steady, unshaken, and enduring. Practicing emotional mastery begins with self-awareness. When faced with anger, fear, or sadness, pause and ask yourself, what is within my control? Recognizing the limits of your influence can instantly dissipate the intensity of your emotions. For example, if a coworker criticizes your work, rather than snapping back defensively, you can choose to listen calmly, evaluate the critique objectively, and respond constructively. This approach not only diffuses tension, but also preserves your peace of mind. Importantly, emotional mastery isn't about denying or suppressing your feelings. It's about channeling them constructively. Fear, for instance, can become a motivator to prepare better. Anger can highlight injustice that needs to be addressed thoughtfully. Sadness can deepen your empathy for others. By guiding emotions rather than being ruled by them, you turn them into tools for growth, Cultivating emotional mastery requires patience and practice, but its rewards are profound. It allows you to face life's uncertainties with resilience, interact with others with greater compassion, and make decisions rooted in clarity rather than chaos. In mastering your emotions, you reclaim your power and walk through life with unshakable strength. In modern life, silence seems to have become a foreign concept. We are swept up in the whirlwind of information, work, and endless pursuits. People are always busy, always seeking something to do or achieve, forgetting that sometimes true strength lies in silence. The act of stopping, finding stillness. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that silence is not merely external peace, but a deep inner state, an ability to control oneself and be in harmony with one's mind. This is what we need to learn and cultivate, the ability to embrace silence. The silence here is not just the pause between life's events, but a conscious choice to turn inward, to confront oneself and one's thoughts. This is different from isolation. Embracing silence doesn't mean avoiding the world around you, but knowing how to live in it without letting it disturb your inner peace. Ask yourself, how long has it been since you truly paused and listened to yourself? How long have you been living without paying attention to the noise, the flood of information that distracts you? We often forget that silence helps us hear the voice of the mind, allowing us to recognize the things we overlook in our busy lives. Sometimes in silence, you can find the wisest solutions to the problems you face. A real-life example from modern times is the practice of meditation, a method scientifically proven to have positive effects on the brain, helping reduce stress and improve mental health. People don't meditate to find immediate answers, but to regain balance and clarity in silence. In that moment, thoughts no longer follow their usual paths, and the mind is freed from distractions. Silence is where clarity and wisdom are born. Stoic philosophy also highlights the importance of embracing silence when facing adversity. In silence, we learn not to react impulsively to difficulties or criticism. Instead of responding emotionally, we can pause, quietly observe, and choose to act wisely. Imagine you are facing a difficult problem in life, conflict with a colleague, family pressures, or personal challenges. When you let anger or anxiety take over, it's easy to lose control and make poor decisions. But when you find stillness, pause, and reflect, everything becomes clearer. You realize that every challenge has a solution, as long as you allow your mind to calm down and don't let fleeting emotions overwhelm your reasoning. Silence is not only rest, but an essential part of inner growth. In silence, we learn to observe ourselves and to listen to our emotions and thoughts without letting them dominate us. Silence is also when we learn to understand ourselves better, allowing us to adjust our actions and emotions more wisely. By embracing silence, you'll find that external factors no longer affect you as much. From there, you'll discover true peace. Before we move on to lesson number 5, we want to take a moment to thank you for accompanying us halfway through this video journey. In every moment, we can learn and grow, and the fact that you are here listening and reflecting with us is a tremendous gift that I cherish every minute. To help us spread these valuable lessons to even more people, please hit the like and share buttons for this video. Each share is a small but meaningful act, much like the timeless lessons Stoicism offers. And don't forget, lesson number 5 is waiting for you in the next segment. Let's continue exploring and embracing these everlasting pieces of wisdom together. Once again, thank you for your continued support. In the journey toward finding inner peace and mastering emotions, one of the key principles emphasized by Stoic philosophy is gratitude. Cultivating gratitude is not only a way to maintain a calm mind, but also a key to overcoming anger and other negative emotions. But why is gratitude so important, and how can we practice it in our daily lives? Consider Marcus, who recently lost his job due to company downsizing. Initially, he felt angry at his bosses and the unfair situation. But after reflecting on Stoic teachings, Marcus decided to approach each day by listing things he was thankful for: his supportive family, his good health, and the time now available to learn new skills. This shift in focus didn't just ease his anger, it motivated him to find a new career path with a clearer mindset and a renewed sense of purpose. Gratitude, according to Stoic philosophers, is not just about appreciating the good things in life. It's about accepting everything that comes our way, whether it brings happiness or hardship. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This is not merely a gentle reminder, but a guiding principle for how we should approach life. We often fall into the trap of complaining and blaming when things don't go as planned. But Stoic philosophy teaches us that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Imagine if every day you started with thoughts of gratitude for what you already have, rather than focusing on what you have yet to achieve. Have you ever truly stopped to appreciate the small but invaluable things in life, such as your health, a cozy home, or even a simple, nourishing meal? When we shift our thinking from what we lack to what we already possess, anger and negative emotions gradually lose their hold over our minds. Gratitude also carries a deeper message in Stoic philosophy. We need to be thankful not only for the good things, but also for the difficulties and adversities. Instead of becoming angry and resisting fate when things don't go our way, we need to learn to see challenges as lessons life offers us. For example, when someone treats you poorly, instead of feeling angry, be grateful for the lesson in patience and forgiveness they provided. When you face failure at work, be thankful for the valuable experience that will help you grow and improve. Additionally, gratitude is not just about thoughts, it's also expressed through actions. One way to cultivate gratitude is by practicing daily journaling about things you appreciate. This habit helps you maintain a positive mindset and avoid falling into a cycle of resentment. A common example from modern life is successful individuals who often share that they begin their day by writing down 3 things they are grateful for. This practice has helped them not only achieve success, but also maintain balance and happiness in life. In conclusion, cultivating gratitude is not just a choice, it's a vital life skill. To overcome anger, we must learn to redirect our minds from negative thoughts to the positive aspects of what we already have. Ask yourself, what are you taking for granted that you should actually be grateful for? And when faced with difficulties, can you view them as opportunities for personal growth rather than obstacles in your path? This is the true power of gratitude. It not only brings peace, but also helps us master every aspect of our emotions. Have you ever wondered why certain things in life seem to be beyond your control? We often face unwanted events, losing an important job, breaking up with a loved one, or even confronting major crises in life. But does anger, blame, and resisting these things help? According to Stoic philosophy, the answer is no. Instead, we are taught to trust in the natural order of the universe, an arrangement that we cannot control, but can learn to accept and embrace. Consider Daniel, who poured his heart into launching a small business. Unexpectedly, new regulations came into effect, making it impossible for him to operate the way he had planned. At first, Daniel was furious. He felt betrayed by circumstances outside his control. But after recalling the Stoic principle of accepting what cannot be changed, he redirected his energy into adapting his business model. This calm shift in focus helped him find a new path forward, rather than letting anger consume him. Let's take another example to illustrate this. Imagine you're on a long flight and everything starts normally. Suddenly, the plane begins to shake violently as it enters turbulence. Passengers panic, clinging to their seats in fear, with some even becoming angry at the crew for the inconvenience. However, if we think carefully, the plane being affected by weather or air conditions is something that no one on board can control. Instead of panicking or getting angry, we can choose to accept the situation and trust in the skills of the crew, those trained to handle exactly this kind of scenario. This is a valuable lesson in trusting the natural order. Some things happen not because we did something wrong, but simply because that's how the world operates. When we trust in this, we not only reduce our anger, but also find peace of mind. Just like letting the plane ride out the turbulence without panicking, we too can navigate life's ups and downs without being overwhelmed by anger. But let's go deeper into our daily lives. Have you ever faced situations where all your efforts seemed to be in vain, or when nothing went according to plan? We often get easily caught up in negative emotions when things don't go our way. But ask yourself, does anger help you change the situation? Or does accepting and trusting that everything happens according to a larger order allow you to free your mind from the burden? By learning to react calmly, we not only lessen our anger, but also discover a sense of tranquility within. Like a pilot facing a storm, there is no option but to remain calm and trust in both their control and the environment around them. Stoic philosophy teaches us that life is a constant flow, and rather than resisting it, we should learn to accept and trust what the universe presents to us. When we trust in the natural order, we free ourselves from anger and reach a state of serenity where we can face all challenges with calmness and peace. We've just explored the power of trusting in the natural order, key elements that drive success and personal growth. Now we'd like to introduce you to an equally powerful tool, the power of forgiveness. Let's continue to uncover the magical strength of forgiveness in the next part of the video. Forgiveness is a noble act, but also an incredibly difficult one. In Stoic philosophy, forgiveness is considered a tremendous strength, not only healing our relationships with others, but also freeing ourselves from the prison of hatred. Stoicism teaches that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to inner strength and emotional mastery. But why is forgiveness so important? And why does it hold the power to change our lives? In everyday life, we often encounter situations that cause us pain. The betrayal by a friend, misunderstandings in a relationship, or even injustices at work. Typically, our natural reaction is to hold on to resentment and hatred, hoping that these feelings will protect us from further harm. But does anger truly protect us? Or does it become a burden weighing us down and preventing us from finding inner peace? When we hold on to hatred, we only make our minds heavier, losing our ability to think clearly. Forgiveness not only lifts the mental burden, but also helps restore balance in our lives. According to Stoicism, forgiveness is an act that stems from understanding and compassion, not from weakness or fear. One example of the power of forgiveness can be found in the story of Louis Zamperini, a former Olympic athlete and soldier during World War II. After his plane was shot down over the Pacific Ocean, Zamperini survived drifting at sea for 47 days, only to be captured and imprisoned in war camps. He endured years of harsh treatment, particularly from a prison officer known as the Bird. This officer relentlessly made Zamperini's life difficult, forcing him to endure both physical and mental suffering. After the war, Zamperini returned to the U.S. with deep resentment for what had happened. This anger haunted him for years, causing personal and marital crises. However, a turning point came when Zamperini attended a speech and realized that forgiveness was the key to freeing himself from the heavy burden of his past. He decided to forgive those who had harmed him, including the officer, the Bird. Zamperini even intended to meet with the people who had mistreated him in the camp to express his forgiveness. Although the officer never agreed to meet, the important thing was that Zamperini had found peace within his heart. He once said, "Forgiveness is the completion of hatred. When I forgave, I was finally free." But ask yourself, when we forgive, who benefits the most? Is it the person we forgive, or is it ourselves? In reality, the greatest beneficiary of forgiveness is ourselves. Forgiveness allows us to let go of the burden of anger and hatred and to rediscover inner peace. If you have ever experienced the sense of relief that comes after forgiving someone, you understand the immense power of this act. It is not only an action toward others, but also a gift to ourselves. Ultimately, forgiveness in Stoic philosophy does not mean ignoring wrongdoing or forgetting the lessons learned. Forgiveness is not about forgetting, but about choosing not to let anger and hatred dominate our lives. By choosing forgiveness, we exercise the ultimate control over our emotions and minds, and when we achieve that, we find true peace and serenity. So, will you choose forgiveness to free yourself from the chains of hatred? Will you choose the strength of forgiveness over the weight of anger? Remember, forgiveness is a power that not only brings peace to others, but is also the greatest gift you can give to yourself. Life often places us in situations where anger seems like the most natural reaction. However, through the lessons of Stoic philosophy, we come to understand that anger brings nothing but suffering and harm to ourselves. Stoicism teaches us that calmness in the face of any adversity is the key to mastering our emotions and our lives. While we cannot control what happens externally, we can fully control how we respond. Remember, every time you choose calmness over anger, you are winning over yourself. Each moment of forgiveness and acceptance is a step toward freedom and tranquility. When we truly grasp and apply this philosophy, life becomes lighter and every challenge can be overcome with a peaceful heart. Trust me, once you understand the power of Stoic philosophy, you'll never need to get angry again. You will approach life with calm, confidence, and compassion, the very qualities that will bring you true happiness and unshakable serenity. If this resonates with you, please like and subscribe to Daily Stoic Practice and share your insights in the comments. Your thoughts may inspire others on their own journeys to inner peace and resilience. Don't miss our daily videos, insightful discussions, and practical tips for applying Stoic principles to your modern life.